Hello, this is Christian. In this part of the video, we're going to continue where we left off last time, and we're going to build this table with the data. Well, actually, before we add data, we're going to go and make some changes here. And if you go back to this page here, we want to build this table right here in the bottom. Okay, so we got the setup already. We just need to fill in the correct field names and add these two buttons here at the last column. Okay. And so let's go and get this working. This is the app that we were working before. So let's go to the code. Here we go. This is the one that we were working on before in the apps.js file. Okay, so first thing is these fields, we want to change these to say number. This is the airline. I think this is I can't remember what it says. I have really short memory. Not here. Flight number, trip type, departure airport, arrival airport. Okay, so flight number, trip type. Okay. So this is the flight number. Trip type. It's a departure airport. Arrival. This is the departure date. Arrival date. And here will be just actions. Okay. Then down here, for every row, as you can see, these are repeated. So that means we're not going to need all of them. We just need one. And we'll do a loop through that row. And we'll process it and so on. So for now, I'm going to delete the rest of these. I don't need these for now. We just need one. Okay. And so the last one here is when I have the buttons. So let's do that first. I mentioned in the notes I'm going to use the anchor link. The type will be a button. And then we have some class names. And I forgot what it is, but we'll look it back. I'm sure it's a button. And then I think it's a button small or something. Let me see where it says. So I put a note here. You can just copy and use this. Let me just copy this. The style, I'll leave that as off for now, but we'll come back and see if we can use that. So let's go back and paste it right in here. So those are the things that we need. Yeah, button small, icon here. Well, I'm not sure about this one. That's all right. So we can just close that, and the href is gonna take us to the edit page. Okay, so the edit page would be something like edit/edit, and then with the ID. Right? It's just a filler right now. And here I put the edit here. So we got that one there. We do a button right here as well. Put a 2 lines here. And it will be kind of similar. The class will be kind of similar. But I need also to say, well, we'll just call it type button. You don't have to, I guess, but we'll just call it button also. Just to make sure it really is the button. And it will be a btn. It's a red button, so we put the danger in here. And I think that's all I need for this one. So it would say delete. And you want to use this small as well. btn small. And this button, when we click on it, we have a click event attached to it. And it's going to load a function. The function will call this dot, we don't have it yet, deleteFlight. Okay, I just put a placeholder for now. We'll come back and we'll fix it. So that is the things that we want. So that if I do it, it's not going to work because I don't have this function yet. So let's go up here and create a function. We can put it in the class space here. So deleteFlight. And I mentioned in my notes that you want to pass an ID to it. Okay, so put the flight ID here. So that means when I invoke it down here, I have to pass ID to that as well. And again, just placeholder right now. but usually you don't invoke it. Okay, if you invoke it, it's gonna crash. Not crash, but it's gonna have a problem because it's gonna run that right away. You don't want to do that. We're gonna wait until only when we click it, and then we'll roll some data. We load some data in here. For now, I'm just gonna say console log the ID and see what that is. All right. So we're using this to update the state, and so the state up here somewhere we're going to have a data, and that's going to be the data of the what we pass to. So for now again, I just put a placeholder. I'll call it just flight data, and it's going to be assigned to a list of data coming through to this. And since I'm going to be using this function to update the state, right, the state property of flight data, I need to bind this function. So in here, the constructor, you need to bind the delete flight data flight function equals this dot delete dot bind, and then you bind to this. Okay, you do that for every function that you need to use in here that will bind, that will update the state. Okay, so now the data coming in through the flight data, it's going to come through, has all those fields, all these fields here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields. That means it's going to have 8 fields coming through. And then when we load through here, each of these will be looped through to create the entire row, right? Including the buttons down here. So that means I'm going to save this now, and let's go and run the app and see what it looks like. And I think it might rerun the app again over what I had earlier. But I'm just going to go and reload the app that I had because that's what I have already. Okay, so I'm going to reload it. And I should have only one row if there are no errors. As you can see, here we go, just one row. And the buttons are kind of, one just didn't listen. This is too big. But so when I click edit, as you can see, go to edit, and I'm going to pass ID to it. Hit delete. We're not going to load any page. You're just going to, if I press F12, when I click on it, it's going to pass the data ID to the function, and we'll console log back to the data here. So as you can see, it just has some data we didn't want it, and there's nothing there yet. All right, so let's change the button first. So this is running. I can close it, leave it running, and the button small is it's SM, not S small. Okay. Okay. So when it pass in the data, it goes to the function delete, and it will pass the data. We'll fix that later. Now I want to fix this part here. So when you loop through this data, and that means you're going to loop through this part in here. Okay, so you loop through here, and then you end it right down here at the bottom, right? The whole thing will be looped. You loop through that using the flight data. So you say this dot state dot flight data, and you can use a map. And I'm going to pass the data to it using the the flight and also the index. Well, you don't have to because it's the ID it's part of the data already. So you could just use the arrow function, and then we should be good. And then inside here, we use a return, or returning this whole thing here. Okay, so these TR, all of these will need to go inside the return statement, like that. And I probably have some things here. And since we're only passing the flight, I just removed that just to make it shorter. So the flight goes in here. I have too many things. This should be a curly, not a parentheses. Curly goes here. Curly is down here. Okay. Okay, this is the end of the return function. So I just put a semicolon so I know what that is. And this is the end of that. Well, I can't put it here. Yeah, so that the map. All right, so now I think we are good here. And when we this ID will be coming from the flight ID and so on. So I think, let's see if I have it. Let me save this and let's see what it looks like. And yep, okay, no errors. So we're good. And so we got it set up. And so I'll stop here. In the next video, we will go and we'll bring in the data and we'll populate this with the actual data.